What's up, guys? I'm about to sit down with Travis, who's an expert at selling print on demand on Walmart. But I wanted to invite Marielle to talk about her experience with Walmart because she's been on for some time now. I just recently, days ago, was accepted to sell on Walmart, but I will also drop a link in the description so you can apply to sell on Walmart. Once you do the application, you'll hear back, you'll get accepted, and then you can list your products. This is Marielle's product. So why don't you tell them about your experience listing this product?
Yeah, so overall, guys, it was really simple, very easy, user-friendly. I mean, it is very much so just like Amazon. You've got your listing images, your descriptions, and a bunch of other key indicators that they don't put in front of the screen, that they put behind the screen, more so for their analytics. Now, there are different things compared to Amazon that you can do to get your rankings boosted. I just made my first seller-fulfilled sale, but I am exploring the Walmart fulfillment services.
Okay, so you're considering like Walmart's version of FBA, and you're selling dog ice cream. That's a really interesting product. Obviously, I'm familiar with it, but why don't you tell anybody that's watching that's like, what the heck is that about your product and your Kickstarter?
So guys, on my Kickstarter, I sell human-grade, lactose-free, limited ingredient dog ice cream. It comes in 3 different flavors, and if you guys support my small business, as it is very, very small currently, there are several different reward tiers for you guys to enjoy.
Yep, so you can give as much as or as little as like $10, guys, if you want to support. Check that out. The link will be in the description. All right, on to my interview with Travis. Hey guys, so as promised, I'm here with Travis. He is the foremost print on demand on Walmart expert that I know. So Travis, man, what's up? How you doing? How you been?
I'm doing great. I don't know if I'm the expert, but I've been on Walmart for a couple of years, so I know a couple of things.
That's better than anybody else I know. So I'm excited though that, after the last time we talked, which feels like it was at least a year ago, man, I'm finally accepted to sell on Walmart. So I'm excited, and I just want to like pick your brain about, we were just talking off camera. I was like, man, should we just hit record? Cause we're trying to figure this puzzle out. So where do we start?
Oh man. I mean, well, you start with getting an account. So congratulations, getting finally onto Walmart. How many rejections did you have before you actually got onto the platform?
Yeah, I applied at least 4 times, and then you had given me a contact at Walmart, so I worked with
Mhm.
that person, and it's just, man, it just wasn't meant to be with that old workflow. But you told me that why don't you tell them what you told me about how you got on Walmart?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is several years ago. I think it was literally like an email process. It wasn't like an automated form or anything like that. I mean, this is the wild west of Walmart. I think they're kind of getting their ducks in a row. And they've actually opened up the floodgates. I don't know, I posted it a few months ago in our Facebook group um, for Print on Demand Cast that there was like a uptick in new stores on Walmart. So they were usually, I think it was, I don't want to, I'm going to mess up the numbers, but it was like they were getting like 100 to 250 new stores every day for like months and months and months. And then all of a sudden they changed their workflow. They changed kind of their parameters for accepting new stores. And it went to like over 1,000 a day, like overnight. And it's kind of, from what I understand, and you're an example of it. I think they've kind of kept that because they, like I say, they got their ducks in a row. They've streamlined their application process. I don't think it's as stringent as it used to be.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, which could be, I mean, that could be a telltale sign that they've figured out some of the weeding out processes that they didn't have before, like for copyright infringement or late deliveries or some of that stuff. And they wanted to get that down. So when they brought in, they kind of opened up the floodgates. Now we know how to get them off the channel if they're a bad actor or something. So there could be a little bit of a correlation there.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
sure,
an
but
interesting
possibly.
theory. Yeah, it felt
Mhm.
like the application process went from like 2010 to 2022, just from like the website perspective. Like the old one was
Totally.
just like really long, buggy, and I didn't even know if I was doing it right. Normally it's like, okay, guys, go apply. Just when they ask you for something, type it in, click next. I was struggling, and I'm like, I don't know that it matters, but I had like a master's degree in IT, and I've been at this stuff for a while, and I'm like, I don't even know if I'm doing this right. Um,
Yeah.
so much better. It's in a much better place now.
Yeah,
So
they didn't have any feedback mechanisms either, so you didn't know. It just kind of went off into the ether, and
yeah,
you either heard back or you didn't, and there was no like place to check your status, or there wasn't anything like that. So they've really upgraded that.
Yeah, and their support too, like for what it's worth, because Amazon support just sucks now. But like Walmart support was great. Working with them, it was like
Mm,
quick replies, actually what like they needed to say. Like, if it wasn't like a copy
right.
paste, a human would go figure out, for me and be like, oh, you're not approved because you need to go over here. And so I'm sure they'll keep improving the workflow, because it's kind of like
Yeah.
they let you in, but then when you're in, you're not ready to sell. You still have to provide them a bunch of information, is how it's set up now. So, and it wasn't
Okay.
clearly intuitive, because they give you like the 1, 2, 3, 4. I did all that, and they
Mhm.
were like, "Oh, you have to go over here now and do another like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6." So, anyways, I thought
So
that was good. So, shout out to support.
yeah. Yeah, they're still feeling their way around, and, I mean, just like any big company, eventually it'll probably go downhill. But
Right.
for
Let's
now,
hope not.
take advantage of that good support. I would agree. I think, for me so far, the support on Walmart has been much better than what it currently is on Amazon. Amazon used to be much, much better, and
Yeah.
you could figure out where to call, or or like a special number, or you could say, hey, I want the captive team. I mean, there were like tricks that you could like get to talk to somebody that actually didn't just copy and paste or just read from a script. um, but I think, as I mean, just the way things are, the way things go, as companies get bigger and bigger and bigger, they've got to automate more and more and more. So I could see Walmart, kind of heading down that path. I mean, they've basically just um, mimicked pretty much everything that Amazon has done.
Yeah.
I mean, even their name, the seller center
So,
instead of
yeah.
seller
Yeah.
central.
Coincidence, I'm sure. By the way, I,
Yeah.
I didn't give Print on Demand Cast a shout out, so I want to do that like up front. I'm gonna link that in the description. If you guys haven't checked out Travis's Print on Demand Cast, definitely give that a listen. It's really great for print on demand sellers.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah. Me and Josiah have a great time. We've been doing it for about 2 years now, have over 110 episodes, and every week we release, and just just having a really good time. It's kind of a passion project for us. It's the show that we wished we would have had when we started in print on demand. So take it for what it is. We're a couple of goofballs. We have literally a weekly dad joke that we share. I mean, it's just it's a
Love
good
that.
time. Some people may think we it's a little overboard, but I don't care. It's our show. So
Yeah, you
we
learn,
have
you
a
have a
good
good
time
time
with
while
it.
you're learning, so it's
Totally.
great. Yeah, the number of resources that are out now are, I mean, it's awesome. It's a great time to be
Yeah.
starting your business. Everybody always thinks like, "Oh, it's too saturated." It's like, "Yo, everything's always too saturated." Just get started. So,
Yeah. Yeah. It's that
um,
whole best time to start your business was 10 years ago. The next best time is today, you know?
yeah, that's a good point. And that's how I feel about Walmart. Hopefully, I like time will tell. I try to be
Sure.
transparent, like on my channel about my sales. So like, I'll keep it real with people about like what I'm doing, how it's working out. But I'm excited. That's really where I wanted to start with you, because I know you've been on for a while. We were
Mhm.
talking offline. We can kind of like pick back up, I guess,
Okay.
about what's the best way for me to really get started. And I guess the first question that I would ask you organically is, if you knew, like, do you know any production partners? I know you were a production partner yourself. Like, do you know anybody that has a
Mhm.
direct integration to Walmart?
I don't know anybody that has a direct integration to Walmart. The only thing I know, so my company, my fulfillment companies, Make Your Mark Design, and we use Order Desk to kind of bridge between our company and Walmart. And so orders come in to Walmart. Um, and we give you a store. You upload an inventory file that has all of your SKUs and your titles, and then it has a link to your print file that we're going to use, and then it tells us, like, is this a DTG product, is it a sublimation product, is it a UV product? So we can disseminate it to our different techs and our different departments, and then it pushes it to ShipStation automatically, which is how we handle all of our shipping. And then obviously, once it's shipped, it pushes up that tracking back to Order Desk and then to Walmart. The challenge then is, how do we know what you just sold? And that really is that spreadsheet. I talk all the time on Print on Demand Cast about how important it is, and I'm not trying to shame you, Ryan, but like, when you start to have some type of documentation, or some type of organization with like all of your products and using the same SKU on all of your channels and having all of your SKUs and all of your print files and everything in one section, so you can, so you can later go back. And if you have to change print providers, you have everything you need in that one document. I mean, a lot of these big companies, Printful, Printify, Gear Bubble, all these different companies, they make it really easy to list products on there, but they hold that print file.
They trap
and
you.
that, yeah, that they trap you. And it becomes a problem over time. Or if you ever do need to integrate with a place like Walmart that doesn't have a direct integration, it's like, well, how do I get those print files? And I don't really have a great answer for that, aside from going through and recreating them, hosting them in a Dropbox or some other type of easily accessible link. But that is the challenge, I think, for Walmart. So if you are starting, I highly recommend doing it that way, where even if I'm going to upload this through Gear Bubble, I'm saving it, in a Dropbox, and I'm putting it on this spreadsheet with the link, with the SKU. All of that stuff is, as I'm going, that's part of my process.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not completely guilty. All right, I'm pretty organized on my computer. Like there's a method to my madness. Like I can actually get this together. Like, so it's like, while you're talking, I'm like, I think I can do this. But the one thing that popped in my mind is like, where do I put the PNGs? Like, where do I put the design files? Is there like a website? Like, is it Dropbox?
Yeah. So we use actually Wasabi, because it's way cheaper than Dropbox. And they have what they call buckets. And then inside the buckets is like a file structure. And so we, I mean, just to dive in a little deeper to what we do, because we do sell on Amazon, we do sell on Walmart, we do sell on Etsy, and other channels. We have what's a design ID that is in the SKU, and then some other kind of codes that tell us what, it's a 15-ounce mug, it's a whatever, it's a t-shirt, it's red, it's XL. And we have all of our mock-ups. So we organize our Wasabi with our design IDs. So every folder, it's 1,200,000 for, whatever, in one. Gotcha. And then inside of that is the main design. And then all of the products are in a separate folder inside of that. And inside of that's where the mock-ups are. And then you can directly link to that print file in that folder and put it on a spreadsheet. So somebody like me can open it up, download it, get it, print it and send it out. So that's kind of how we do it. And we didn't start out like that, and it was a big rip off the Band-Aid moment when we were like, okay, we're scaling. And I can't just go look for red nurse mug .png on my computer every time this one sells. We need, what if I have 100 nurse mugs,
right.
Something's going to go wrong. So we had to get into that organization. And that's kind of the way we did it anyway.
I was going to ask you then, like, if I was going to use you to fulfill, like, would it just be like a spreadsheet code of like one column mug, next column black, next column 11 ounce? Would it be like that, or would it be something different?
Yeah, it's very simple. So it basically has your SKU, and then it has the process. So if it's UV or DTG or sublimation, then it has the product code that we basically give you valid values for it. So
okay.
For us, I think 11-ounce mug is MG11. And then there's a color field and a size field. If it's a t-shirt, red, XL, or whatever. And then there's a field for your print file. There's a second field if you have like a back design on a t-shirt or something like that. And then there's a location feature that works with Shopify, actually. So you can tell it in Shopify, only send them the products that match the location. And our location, of course, is MYMD. So it, we just tell you, put that on there. If you ever sell on Shopify, it'll make it a lot easier on you. And then you can go tell it, these products, I want to go to MYMD, and we won't get all the other things that you're selling on Shopify.
Got you. Yeah. Interesting. It's interesting as we like, as business progresses and time moves forward and we scale, and it's like, oh yeah, all these new, it's kind of like we zoom out so much, and they're all like good things that we learn. But it would have been nice if I had just kind of did this like some master spreadsheet from the beginning. You know, I basically have like massive folders, like a print on demand folder. Then I do it by year. And I used to do it
Oh, okay.
alphabetically. Then I was like, all right, that's not the best way to do it. Now I'm going to do it by niche, you know,
Oh,
the
yeah.
subfolders. And that's kind of how I do it. And I've got most of it cataloged just for upload automation, but
Mhm.
it's, you know, local file paths, not on the web.
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah. I mean, you could probably dump all that pretty easily into a Wasabi or something like that. But again, then you have to have somebody that manually probably links each one of those products up
That's what I was
with,
wondering. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, one of the things that we've talked about here at NYMD is like offering that as a service for people, because I mean, you know, let's face it, you and I are probably, we probably have more products than most people, you know, that are getting into this or even potentially listening to this. I'm sure there's people that do have tens of thousands of SKUs, and that's fine. But when you have 100, it's a hell of a lot easier than when you
Yeah.
have, you know, 100,000. But you know, you can create a task for a, you know, a virtual assistant to do, and just allow them to take their time and get it right. And over time, build that out for you. It might cost you, you know, some cash, but in the end, I think as you scale, if you can integrate that into your listing process, um, it'll really benefit you in the future.
For sure, man. For sure. Um, yeah. That's why it's so great to be able to sit down with you, by the way. So I do really appreciate you taking the time, sharing the insights.
Absolutely, man. It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was going to ask too, as far as Walmart goes, like, should we be running ads? Is it too soon to jump into ads? That's I just spent the last 2 days. I launched a couple hundred, almost like 500,000 ads on Amazon just in prep for Q4, just doing like big dumps of like just auto campaigns.
Sure,
Um,
sure.
but like, so is that anything that we need to be worried about on Walmart, in your opinion?
I mean, I actually just experimented with ads a couple months ago, and so I was going to try to pull it up, see if I can even just look at my dashboard.
You've been making sales
Well,
without ads though.
oh yeah, I hadn't run ads for, you know, since I started until just a few months ago, and they just made it really easy. And so I just literally just went in and just kind of did like an auto campaign type thing.
Mm,
But honestly, it hasn't been doing great. You know, I'm spending more honestly than I'm probably making. I'm
okay.
still not sure if and most of the things that I have on Walmart are mugs. I have some t-shirts, but it's probably 75% mugs, 25% t-shirts.
Okay.
I'm probably going to let it run through the rest of the year, just to kind of gather all the data that I can, and especially through the Christmas season, because I think mugs are more giftable, and I think they'll probably convert better as we get closer to the holidays. Um, but yeah, I mean, it is very simple. You can do kind of an auto campaign. You can put a really low bid on there, and then they ask for a daily spend. Kind of, it's similar to Amazon.
Gotcha.
Um, but I don't know that it's necessary when you're starting. I'm still kind of hoping that it's helping with organic. And that's kind of why I'm willing to lose a little money on the sales, just to hopefully organically boost, um, you know, boost my products over time. So we'll see. Like I say, I'm going to at least leave it on until January, and hopefully we'll see that conversion rate increase as we get closer to the holidays. And then I can look at it uh, um, kind of on a, you know, with a larger
Yeah.
scale and a larger sample size. And we'll see.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you're doing it. You can let me know.
Okay. Well,
And then in terms of products, like I typically just stick to what I consider to be like mainly fundamentals, as far as, and it's also just easier for me from a process, like a flow, to be mainly listing like t-shirts, coffee
mhm,
mugs. I feel like I can take the same t-shirt design. It's not optimal probably if it's designed for a shirt to go on a mug, but it's kind of easy
yeah.
for me to do that. Maybe like a sweatshirt.
Mhm.
Um, any ideas on like outside the box products on Walmart that maybe might do well, like how, like mugs, for instance? I think that's outside the box to a lot of people who maybe watch this, even because it's a lot of Amazon merch sellers who don't have
Ah,
access
okay.
to selling coffee mugs, for instance.
Yeah. That's how I got into print on demand. Honestly, I had a merch account and was designing, had VAs designing all kinds of stuff, uploading every single day. I still actually still get merch sales. I don't actively participate in that anymore, but I took all of those designs and just threw them on coffee mugs over time. And I mean, they're your assets. Why not? Right. And
Yeah.
so, and then I had a Seller Central account on Amazon that I had already, I'd been doing arbitrage and had been doing private label and things like that. And so I called it Poor Man's Private Label because I was creating new listings for these coffee mugs using assets that I had were on t-shirts on
Just
on
like me,
merch.
man. It's my story.
Oh
Same
yeah.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
So yes. So, I mean, it is kind of out of the box, but it's such a low barrier to entry. It's so easy to find a good mock-up and then just throw your stuff up there. You can use a lot of similar keywords even. And because it's the same design, it's the same idea. It's just on a different product. But I think like for us at Make Your Mark Design, we have a lot of really cool products that we just haven't spent the time putting on Amazon or on Walmart or Amazon. We're kind of walking down that path, but it's a long road. But we have like these really cool like signs that we do, like 6-inch and 12-inch signs that are framed, wooden frame. And then again, you
Nice.
can use that same t-shirt design or that mug design, put it on this frame. We actually UV it. And then we attach the frame, we got nail guns and whatever, and ship those out. Those are really, really great sellers on Etsy, by the way.
I was going to say, it sounds like an Etsy
Live,
killer.
laugh, love. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got stuff like that. We do tea towels, which are believe it or not, are pretty popular among, especially at the holidays. They'll have like a Christmas design or something like that. We also do pillowcases, as opposed to, I know merch does pillows now.
I sell pillowcases, man. That's like one of my like sleeper products. I never actually like talk about that, but it's like Gear Bubble offers them, and I have the direct integration with Amazon. So I would just throw designs up on those, and it's funny. They don't sell that often, but they sell.
Yeah, so those are the big pillowcases like you use on your bed, but like I'm talking about like the throw pillow cases, and we have like these like oatmeal and white kind of linen looking ones, whereas I think the merch ones are more, I think they do them with sublimation, so they're more of a poly based, where we actually DTG them. And so yeah, and I don't know if your girlfriend's like this, but man, a lot of wives are changing their throw pillows every season, and so you can get a lot of sales in that niche. So yes, I think there are plenty of, like, Walmart really is the Wild West right now. It is not as saturated as Amazon is for products. And so, if you can find kind of those, if your print provider can do some unique products, I think, man, you can really win on Walmart if you just start listing those, because I don't think there's very many people doing kind of those out of the box products right now.
Yeah, that's exciting, man. We don't know what it's going to grow into, but we know Walmart, just by like market cap in terms of US companies, is way up there, and yeah, that's, who knows, right? Because could it be like being on Amazon, really early too, right? So
yeah, one of the things that I may have said this last time we were talking, but one of the differences that I've seen with Walmart is that how your sales kind of go up around a holiday or something like that. Walmart seems to like really, really go up. Now, it's not going to eclipse my Amazon sales, but there's been times when it has come close during a holiday. Now, during a non-holiday period, Amazon's killing it. Walmart's, probably 15%, but there'll be times when it's like, 55-45 during the holiday season. So it's an interesting bump that, I mean, obviously you get a bump across all platforms, just overall, but it seems like for Walmart, for whatever reason, really gets a bump around the holidays. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's the type of shopper that's on Walmart. I mean, that must be what it is. They just tend to buy more around the holidays. It's an interesting thing that I've seen year over year being on the platform.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder if they're like maybe setting aside extra like advertising budget during the holidays. Possibly. Or something. I always love when there's a marketplace that's willing to spend a little money on us, getting our products out there.
Totally. Thank you.
Yeah. Cool, man. Anything else about Walmart that I should know? Like I got in, I read the emails. They have like kind of a welcome series. So I'm learning
Mhm.
without actually like having done anything. I mentioned before we hit record, actually I had an intro to the video, but I showed that my girlfriend who's been on for about a month longer than me, already got her listings created.
Mhm.
She's getting ready for a production run to do like her first big production. She sells like human grade, like dog ice cream, very niche product, but very bougie.
Wow, okay.
And so once that's done, she's gonna probably send it into Walmart fulfillment along with, you know, Amazon FBA. And so that'll be
Mhm.
interesting. But
Yeah.
anything that you want to like impart, any knowledge you want to impart on me and anybody else watching that wants to sell on Walmart, sell print on demand, I guess specifically.
Yeah, it may have changed, but, when I started, the default fulfillment time for orders is 2 days, and,
Mm,
they call it lag time, and so you can request an extended lag time, of up to 5 days, and obviously, if you're gonna be doing print on demand, um, fulfillment, you know, or having somebody fulfill your print on demand products, you need a little more of a buffer. So I would highly recommend searching lag time and extending that out to 5 days, just to give yourself a little bit of cushion if, you know, particularly during the Christmas season when orders seem to, you know, can get backed up a lot.
yeah.
Yeah, and then I was also gonna say Walmart Fulfillment Services, WFS. We did a small trial with that, and everything sold. We just we haven't continued to do that. It's something that was on my Q4 playlist, but or to-do list, but you know, we failed to do it. But I think that there's some serious power in getting these things in. It's a little bit different process than Amazon FBA, but I think it's uh, equally as valuable in the end. And it's not different enough that it's going to really throw you off that much. You're just going to have to label things a little differently and jump through their hoops a little differently. But a really good idea if you get on Walmart to really look into that WFS. Those would be my two things that I would, you know, recommend. If you're fulfilling it yourself, make sure your lag time's long enough,
Yeah.
and then seriously look at WFS.
Yeah, that's great advice actually too, because Marielle just ran into that issue when we were looking at her Walmart yesterday. She's like,
Hmm.
"Oh crap, I got an order." She didn't even know because I guess she didn't get an email, or maybe she's just not good about checking her email. One of the two. And her fulfillment time was like 2 days. So she was like, "I was
Yeah,
like, yo, you need to ship that today. Like, look at
right.
the shipment." So that's great. That's great advice. I appreciate that, man. And yeah, I'll keep you up to date on my journey. Obviously, I've got some thinking to do. I got to figure out how I'm going to load up all my products and,
Right.
you know, potentially use you as a fulfillment partner. So we'll
Yeah,
be in
man.
touch for
That'd
sure.
be awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. And let me know if you want to chat about this again. We'll do it.
we'll do. Sounds good. Thanks, Travis.
Yep.